Welcome to Property Ladder, the series that shows you the do's and don'ts of developing. This week, we're in Neath, South Wales, to meet 23-year-old New Zealander Kim Moate.
For as long as I can remember, I have been interested in property. I read my first property investment book when I was about 12 years old. And it was actually how to make $1 million out of property. So obviously then I thought it must be feasible. I have probably spent a good year or so researching this, and I do feel comfortable that I've looked at, all of the things that could possibly go wrong.
Kim's taken a big gamble. She's given up her job, remortgaged her house in Buckinghamshire, and bought this property 170 miles from home.
I'd heard that property prices in South Wales were considerably lower than in High Wycombe, so I jumped in the car and drove down the M4 and went to Swansea. Stopped at quite a few towns actually along the way just to sort of have a look around and see what they were like. Went to Swansea, couldn't afford to buy there, so actually came back to the next town, which was Neath. So really not particularly methodical, just kind of stumbled across it really.
Having been outbid on 4 properties, Kim was determined not to lose another and bought this house unseen. Hello. So this is the rather hideous house. Actually, that's really awful to say, isn't it?
This is my house, Sarah.
This is your lovely house you bought to develop. How much did you buy it for?
$27,500.
It's the sort of house you can find in every town across the country. The outdated layouts make them popular with developers. Upstairs, there are 3 reasonably sized bedrooms, but no bathroom and no loo. Downstairs, there's a main reception room at the front with a second sitting room directly behind. In the back addition, there's a 3rd reception leading through to a tiny bathroom. The kitchen is in the lean-to tacked onto the side. And so how long are you planning to do this up for?
Well, I've got about an 8-week time frame really. I originally thought sort of between 6 and 8, but I think realistically we're going to hit towards the 8. The major work needs to all be done in about 5 weeks' time.
It's important to set yourself targets, but they must be realistic. There's an awful lot to do here, and I think getting it finished and back on the market in 8 weeks will be pretty tough. The house hasn't been refurbished for over 30 years and everything needs doing, including rewiring the entire property, laying a concrete floor, a new bathroom, new kitchen, damp work, plastering, new ceilings, and extensive redecoration. How much are you planning on spending doing it up?
The budget's about 11.5. Yeah.
And you hope to sell it for how much?
I'm hoping to sell it for about 52.
Right.
Which I know is pushing the market. That's going to be really, that's an absolute top end.
That's fantastic, 25%. If you can stick to the 11,000, 25% profit is extremely, it's double what most people are getting at the moment. So
yeah, that's the other reason I'm coming out here though. You can profit like that anywhere else.
If she can pull it off, it's a great return for 8 weeks' work. Kim bought the house for £27,500. Her budget is £11,500. If she can sell for £52,000, it would give her a gross profit of £13,000 less fees. But this is going to take an incredible amount of work, and I'm not sure Kim's realised quite what she's let herself in for.
I'm just going to put up plasterboard all over them and then paint it all over again. So
you're going to plasterboard on top of the existing walls?
Yes.
Why?
Because I refuse to pay a plasterer. Because I think they're too expensive. And I was told that apparently if you take off the wallpaper, which, because there's so many layers underneath it, the whole wall could come down. As in the, do you know what I mean? Like it'll be all crumbly and I'll have to get a plasterer in. So I'm going to leave it on.
If you strip it off, you may lose some plaster, but you may get away with a lot of the walls.
Really?
And you'll end up with a much better finish and lots of filling and sanding. I really think you should.
Filling and sanding is just so painful.
It's really painful. You get an electric sander.
Don't
flat
talk to me
walls,
about
then.
sanding.
You don't like the word.
But I know what you mean, yeah. So you think that might be an option? I just don't want to get a plaster and plaster the whole house because it's going to cost me a fortune. It'd be like I think it'd be about 1,500, £2,000 to get one of them.
You are going to have to get some replastering done, probably. But I don't think you have an option, really.
I'm worried that Kim's lack of experience could put this development in danger. She's got nothing in her budget to pay for a plasterer, and it doesn't stop there. There's just £150 for the rewiring, £700 for all the plumbing, including the central heating, £130 for the garden, £6,080 for all the building and damp work, £1,300 for decorating and carpets, £1,500 for the kitchen, £550 for the bathroom, and just over £1,000 as a contingency, making a total of £11,500 plus fees. Kim's got big plans on a little budget, but I'm not sure she's thought all of them through.
The bathroom's downstairs at the moment, and I wanted to bring it upstairs, but I didn't want to lose a bedroom, so I wanted to split this bedroom in half and make quite a small single room. Put in a doorway in here.
In there?
Yeah.
So that would be... But that's going
Tiny
to
bathroom.
be very close to the stairs,
Yeah.
which is a problem. You can't have a doorway that opens immediately so that people can fall downstairs.
All right.
So tell me what else... So you were going to then put a bathroom in here?
Yeah, I
were you?
was.
And with a bath, loo and basin?
No, actually, I was going to put the toilet out on the landing because I think it's too small to fit a toilet in here.
This isn't a great idea. It'll make the hall pokey and it'll be very difficult to run the waste. When moving bathrooms and loos, if you're inexperienced, it's best to talk to a plumber as early as possible before you waste time and money on a layout that won't work.
Why are you so determined to keep 3 bedrooms?
I just think this, I think for the price I'm going for, the 52,000, I think I need 3 bedrooms for it. I just don't think I'm going to get anywhere near that for like 2 bedrooms.
The problem is, Kim bought the house without seeing it and paid too much. Now she's got to keep 3 bedrooms and squeeze in the bathroom upstairs to stand a chance of making money. But she's also got to do a lot downstairs. At the moment, there are 2 reception rooms at the front. At the back, there's a tiny bathroom which she intends to turn into a small utility area. A lean-to housing the kitchen that's being knocked down, and a 3rd reception room which will become the kitchen diner.
Who are you marketing your house towards?
I think because of the price range, it's going to be first-time buyers, really. And also, this area is, because it's so flat for people to walk underneath, a lot of old people or elderly people have actually sold their properties on the hills and moved down to these streets that are in the town. So I'm going to try and market it to them as well.
Most elderly people would rather, if they're going to move to a retirement house, they're not going to want it upstairs.
It's crucial to do your homework and get your marketing right. Most of the people buying in this area are young couples and starter families. Kim really has got her work cut out. There's so much to do and on such a tight budget. But one thing about unmodernised houses is that you never know quite what you'll find.
Look.
Oh my gosh.
Cool.
Oh, do you know how excited I am?
It's so expensive to buy.
Oh, I'm so excited. That's really cool.
But a week later, when Kim calls in at a local agent for more advice, the news isn't quite so good.
Hi there.
Nice.
Rob Morgan.
Oh, good. Nice to meet you. Come in.
You're probably looking at mid-30s. Possibly going into the 37.
Goodness me.
First-time developer Kim Moate bought this rundown property in Neath with no idea of what she was letting herself in for.
When I first saw the property, obviously the offer had already been accepted. I was horrified. It was an absolute mess. First of all, it smelt so badly. It was covered in wallpaper absolutely everywhere. There was absolutely nothing I could keep in the house at all. It just has to be stripped back.
Kim spent £27,500 without any idea of what was wrong with the property, what it would cost to put right, or whether the final sale price would be high enough even to cover the costs of the work. Kim needs to sell the house for £39,000 just to break even.
Do you think that if I had a two-bedroom in a really, really nice, absolutely pristine condition, that it could sell?
Not at the
Close to the
money
50s?
that you're looking for.
No?
Unfortunately, not in the area that we're in.
Right, okay.
No.
What do you think that a two-bedroom would go for?
Two-bedroom, we're probably looking at mid 30s, possibly going into about 37.
Goodness me.
Yeah.
I really can't start for that then.
I think a three-bedroom is very popular for this area.
Right, okay.
And I think you're going to get better returns on your investment if you go with a three-bedroom.
Okay.
If Kim had researched the property before buying it, she'd have discovered that it was too expensive to do all the work and still make a profit. She's determined to get a bathroom in upstairs, but if she loses a bedroom, then she also loses a lot of money.
What I was thinking of doing was putting in a partition wall here, okay, and having this side as the bathroom, and then this side be a really, really small single.
Very small.
Yeah. That was kind of my sort of idea. And a doorway in here.
Probably better options than that, I'd have thought, in this house.
I am really confused, and I think that I probably need to spend the night kind of thinking about it, because I have to make my decision by the end of this week.
Even though Kim hasn't decided about the layout, her tight schedule and tiny budget mean she has to get started.
That's just going to look cool.
In just 5 weeks and on a budget of £11,500, she wants to transform this exhausted shell into a modern townhouse. But I don't think she realises just how tough it's going to be.
I think the 5 weeks to get the major work done is, as long as I crack on, it's not a problem.
Kim's trying to keep costs down by doing as much of the work as she can herself, even though she's never done anything like it before.
I'm not like some people. I get satisfaction out of DIY, because I don't. I just see DIY as a necessary evil to be able to sell for a good price.
To save money, the plumbing and electrics are supposed to be being done by a friend, but days after starting, he's still not here. Getting friends to help can save you money, but you should always allow for paying a professional in your budget just in case things go wrong.
Well, what about next weekend? All right, no, don't worry. I'm sure I'll sort something out. But yeah, okay. All right, thank you. Bye. Oh, yeah, that was I had someone come to help me on the house, but unfortunately, they're not going to be able to help me anymore. So I'm going to have to get some local tradesmen in on the job, which is obviously going to cost me quite a lot of money. So quite concerning because I don't really have the budget for it.
This is a really big setback. She's behind schedule already, and paying a professional to do the jobs will entirely wipe out her contingency. And she's still got to find somebody to actually do it.
Hi, I've just bought a property in the Neath area that doesn't have any heating, and the bathroom needs moving upstairs. Basically, I wanted to get an idea of, rough estimate costs of that type of thing, to see if somebody can come around really and give me an idea.
Kim allowed £150 for the rewiring and just £700 for the plumbing. All work her friend was going to do.
Do you have an idea what the sort of ballpark figures are? Just as a budgetary figure, yeah.
Using professionals will cost her an awful lot more.
They're pretty much coming in at around the sort of, between, £2,200 and £2,500.
Kim's only 2.5 weeks into her project and her budget is out of control. The plumbing alone could cost £1,800 more than she budgeted for, which is a big chunk of her profit.
It's been a bit of a nightmare actually finding a plumber, but I shall keep trying because I need one. Hi, I need my property.
The one good thing that falling behind on the job has meant is that Kim hasn't had to decide what to do with the bathroom. But with a plumber finally booked, she can't put it off anymore. Getting this right will make or break this development, but I think the answer is in another house just down the road.
I brought you here because this is a really good and successful example of where somebody has actually divided a bedroom upstairs into a bedroom and a bathroom to get the bathroom from the ground floor to the first floor. And this looks great, don't you agree?
It does, actually, and it's a great size as well. I would like to do something like this, but it's just kind of finding a place to put it, really.
You've got to get 3 bedrooms in your house.
That's a good point.
And maybe the only solution is to chop the front bedroom in half.
No, I agree, yeah. I mean, I think it's just a case of looking at practicalities of it and seeing where it can fit. And kind of go from there. I think it's going the bathroom, where the bathroom goes, is actually just going to be governed by sort of size and where it can fit, actually.
There is a downside. Running the waste pipe is not simple. Kim will need a special macerating loo, which may put buyers off. So she leaves making the decision and gets on with the sticking.
That's a nice bit of plaster work there, isn't it? Just put out some more wallpaper. Just hold it in. If it falls down, don't worry about it.
From day one, Kim's been determined not to replaster, but I think this is a real mistake. If she wants to stand a chance of getting her ceiling price, the finish has to be as good as possible. Anything else can lower the price. After 5 days stripping wallpaper, Kim finally accepts she's going to have to get some replastering done.
By the time I'd costed the materials and the time it would have taken me to work out I actually had to do it and then do it, I might as well have just had a plasterer in that time. You know, I think it's going to cost me about £1,500.
But when the plasterer arrives, Kim discovers it's going to take more than a little patching.
Is there any way around it at all? I mean, are they that bad?
They're not bad. They'll come off.
Yeah?
Yeah, they need to come off, yeah.
What, hack off the plaster off all of the walls? In every room?
And the ceilings are in a bad way as well, so they've got to come down.
And the ceiling?
And the ceilings, yeah.
Anything else?
That's it, Derek.
Oh my goodness, there wasn't anything left after that. Oh no, that's a nightmare. How much is that going to cost me? Because obviously you've only quoted me on skimming.
About £2,000.
That's going to really affect my budget. Had another disaster today. I need to actually hack off all of the plaster because it's in such bad condition. I don't know what kind of job that entails. Luckily, my brother's actually coming over from sort of back home from New Zealand, so he'll actually be able to help me out on it. He's over for a few weeks, so great holiday for him. But I kind of need the help.
I do admire Kim's drive and energy, but she's wasted time and money by doing things the wrong way round. Before starting, you should assess the job and get expert advice if you're not sure. Get 3 estimates of what it will all cost, be realistic about what you can do yourself, and get references for all tradesmen you get in to do the rest. Kim didn't do this before buying, and it's ended up costing her time and money she simply doesn't have.
When I first bought the house, I didn't plan for a lot of the stuff that I'm now having to do, which is, obviously it's not great because it wasn't in my budget. But at the same time, there's only one way to learn. And if I had bought a house that didn't need half of this work, I'll be doing the same thing a couple of years down the line anyway. So, you know, so better to learn right at the beginning than right at the end.
Days later, and things are going from bad to worse.
I just can't believe the things that can go wrong with this plastering. I had the plasterer around today just telling me that the ceiling joists are not strong enough to hold the plasterboard. So now I've got to find a joiner. He's unwilling to start any other part of the room. He wants to start with the ceilings first. So I don't know if it's just me, but I kind of think he's been a little bit inflexible by doing that. But, you know, it's his choice, so never mind.
Kim had intended to get the building work done in just 5 weeks, but her budget's through the roof and the schedule's out of the window. She's already 5 weeks in and most of the walls are still stripped bare.
I'm just waiting for the plasterer to do all of his work down here, but he's wanted to start upstairs and obviously work his way down.
Why did you want to start upstairs?
I don't know, actually. He just told me that's what they do, so I just believed him. Is that not right?
I
don't know. I just thought
I
maybe
see
Mark.
no-
I don't know.
There's no particular reason why you'd start upstairs. I mean, you do that when you're dusting, I think, but not
Yeah.
plastering.
I don't know.
I see no reason why you couldn't have started downstairs and gone upstairs. Next time, I just tell them to start downstairs, and if you can't do upstairs because you haven't got a joiner here. Yeah,
I think I did just listen to him a bit too much, though, didn't I?
Developing is really tough, especially when it's your first project. Kim's trying to project manage this herself, but she's not sure what order to do the work, or really even what work has to be done. I only hope I can be of some help sorting out what she needs to do.
My motivation's actually waning at the moment.
is it?
Yeah.
The thing is, in the middle of a job, that does tend to happen because there's great gusto when you kind of rip it all apart. But actually, then you get to the middle and it's kind of standing still, and it's quite depressing at that stage.
My budget's actually in quite... Well, in fact, I don't really have a budget anymore. It used to be a budget. Now it's just what I'm spending.
If you take your initial budget of how much you thought you were going to be able to sell the house for, it gives you just over £10,000, £11,000 plus a bit profit.
Right.
Now, considering that it took you 3 months to find it, it's going to take you at least 2 months to do the project, and it could take 4 or 5 months easily to sell it. That's nearly a year. That's £11,000, and you've left your job, and this is full time. £11,000 is not very much money to be earning in a whole year, considering the risks you're taking. Can you live off £11,000 a year?
No.
You can't.
No, I could try.
Property developing can be a great way to make money, but it isn't easy. And one of the biggest mistakes is to overestimate just how much you can do yourself.
I'm not a skilled labourer, worker, builder, whatever, and so I shouldn't actually be doing the stuff that, to be honest with you, I'm not very good at. It's not really. So, it's a lesson learned for next time.
Cool.
Yeah.
But you haven't been put off.
No, I haven't. No, I
Not
just
so
know.
far.
I just know that I'm not going to do these things again. No, I won't
Good
be
for
put off
you.
then.
After a day away from the development, Kim wakes up clearer about what she's got to do, including moving the bathroom.
I've put a lot of thought into what I'm going to do with that bathroom. I've listened to Sarah's advice, and I'm going to split the master bedroom at the front into a bedroom. Into a bedroom and a bathroom.
Even though work starts up again, Kim's inexperience is beginning to cause problems with the builders.
There's a few things that she could have done a bit differently.
What is it? 9.5
For what now?
plasterboard.
12.5. Oh,
No, I've got 9.5. Yeah.
Oh, you've got 9.5 thin
Yeah.
stuff.
Is that? Oh no. Is that really bad?
Yeah. It's a bit hard work doing the petition in the front room because there's rubbish everywhere. Because Kim's very untidy.
What was that about
Messy
that?
plasters as usual. And she didn't buy enough wood, so I had to come back and do it again.
I must have got 2.4, 3 metre, and 3.6.
All the wrong size.
I wonder what I did that.
She's doing things back to front.
I see what you mean with all the nails on the ceiling.
Yeah, because
Popping.
it plastered before.
Yeah,
Stone has gone up.
that's my fault really. I should have known.
Yeah.
I should have said. I'll know next time.
What we need now is the size of this bathroom.
So,
She should have gutted the house first, and then done a stud work, a door linings, a plasterboarding, first fix plumbing and electrics, and then she can go into a skirting, doors, things like that. If she'd had one person which knew what they were doing in sequence, she would have saved a lot more money and a lot less stress.
no, brilliant. Thank you very much. That's
All right.
really, really good.
I think she's going to be a bit overcosted, but bit of luck, she'll finish it in time.
I think it's going to need more than a little luck. She's 7 weeks into an 8-week project, £2,000 overspent, and she's fallen out with the builders.
I'm absolutely furious that you would actually not have the decency to call me.
23-year-old Kim Moate bought this rundown house in South Wales, intending to completely renovate it in just 8 weeks. But we're already 7 weeks in, the budget's been blown out of the water, and Kim's having difficulty project managing the job.
This is a problem I have. These walls have looked like this with no plaster on them for, about 5 or 6 weeks now. And I don't know whether it's a big job or not, and how long it's going to take them to do it, but I just need them to start, as soon as possible.
The thing is that Kim really should know exactly what's going on and why if she's going to manage the development. Lots of people take on project managing to try and save money, as it does save you paying someone else. But before committing to it full time, make sure it's a job you really want to do. Kim would have earned more money at her old job than she's saved by running a job herself. And her inexperience has undoubtedly caused problems.
I've just got in after thinking my plasterer's been working for the last 2 days, and he's left me a note on a little bit of plasterboard to say that he's not going to finish the job. It all now makes perfect sense. He didn't want to start the downstairs, probably because it's too much hard work. He's just mucked me around so much over the whole thing. I'm so furious with this, actually. I'm just going to call him. It's Kim here. Look, I've just got in, obviously, after a couple of days, thinking that you were happily working away, to find a rather pathetic no. I'm absolutely furious that you would actually not have the decency to call me. We're now midway through a week, and I could have actually had a plasterer organised. You should have just been upfront and honest and said, OK, thank you, bye. Answer phone.
Losing her plasterer 8 weeks into the project is a nightmare. He said he hadn't done downstairs first because it wasn't ready, and he'd left because Kim was doing things the wrong way around, and the job was different from the one he'd agreed to.
The only thing I'm really worried about, actually, is that they're really busy at the moment, and that you have to put them so far in advance, and if I want one to start within the next week, it's going to be, pretty slim chance, to be honest, so might as well just start with A.
This is another setback Kim really can't afford. She's given up her job, remortgaged her home, and is commuting 170 miles to make this work. But every day the development isn't finished, it eats into her profits. But Kim knows she has to make it work, and a week later the new plasterer gets going downstairs. And with the end hopefully in sight, we head for the shops to try to find the perfect kitchen for Kim's modern family home.
So, what sort of budget have you set aside for the kitchen?
About £850.
Right.
Or at the moment it's about 2p. That's all actually.
But it's going to be £850.
Well, yeah.
And what kind of market are you thinking that you're going to be marketing this to?
I think first-time buyers are probably more likely to buy my house, or possibly the elderly. So
what are you going to be doing to appeal to that market?
Well, the fact that if I keep the kitchen, I think, classic and modern, I'm sort of, at least I'm hopefully appealing to both. This kitchen here is a very good example of the types of styles that they have in most refurbished properties around the area.
It's very traditional, isn't it?
Yes.
And I just wonder if it would probably put off quite a lot of first-time buyers. I think that you don't have to go as traditional as this, but don't go really, really, really contemporary. Just have a sort of simple, classic, modern style.
Kitchens can make and break sales, so it's important to get them right. But that doesn't necessarily mean buying the cheapest or the dearest one in the shops. The key is to get it right for the market you're aiming at. Kim's is a small property in an area popular with starter families and buy-to-let, so it doesn't require very expensive fittings. Both need a simple, hard-wearing kitchen that's easy to add to and replace, and both will appreciate a kitchen breakfast room if you can fit a table in. And with buy-to-let, be careful of going for anything to today, because you still need it to look good tomorrow.
That's pretty much just what I'm looking for.
Well, that would be great, except without the glass, I think.
What do you think?
You don't like the glass? You like the glass?
Yeah, no, I don't
No,
like
it's
that.
not so good.
And I
the
don't
glass.
like the handles either.
No, I'd agree with you. But the actual style is quite neutral and probably is right for your market.
Developing is not about making big personal statements, and Kim's got it just right with a classic neutral style that shouldn't alienate anyone.
We have 200 or 300 units, the sink unit, and then the drawer unit.
Right.
Would you like to see this in coloured as well?
That'd be great. Yeah.
Okay. Are you happy with that?
Yeah, always happy to spend money.
Normal delivery takes around 10 days, but
Right.
with the kitchen size that we have here, I dare say we could get it off the shelf for you.
It's now 9 weeks into the project. The outside of the house is being rendered, and 3 weeks after ordering it, Kim's new kitchen is due to arrive.
Hello. Well, you're supposed to be delivering it tomorrow, yeah? Well, that's... You really don't understand. That's really not good enough. I ordered that kitchen about 3 weeks ago. Right. Okay, I can wait a week. I can't really, but I will. Fine. So when will that? So what? 5-6 days from here, and that'll be everything, yeah. Okay, fine. I'll just have to rebook the carpenter for then. But I just want it noted. I'm really furious because this project has got a finish date, and that is just going to hold everything up because the kitchen's the last thing that's going in. Okay. Thank you. Bye.
Keeping a development on schedule takes an incredible amount of organisation and more than a little luck. You have to drive the development forward rather than let it drive you. Kim was offered the kitchen weeks ago, but now when she really needs it, it's nowhere to be seen. So while she's waiting for it, I've decided to try and help her get a step ahead. Kim's only got £150 set aside to dress the property, so I've come with her to a local auction. On that sort of money, it's not going to be easy, but if you're selective, there are bargains to be had.
What kind of things were you thinking about buying?
I need a bed.
Right.
A double bed. I could do with a table and chairs actually just put in the dining room.
And this is to stage the house, isn't it?
Yeah.
You want to stage it. So,
Yeah,
so
just to live
it
in.
suggests to people how they can live in it. Is that right?
Yeah.
So you want cheap furniture that you can kind of make look nice.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, I could cover a sofa like that.
It's hideous, Kim.
Yes, it is. But with some calico covers, it'll look fine.
No, it won't.
Really?
No, it's a horrible shape. And I forbid you from buying it.
Okay.
So, moving on. Is this the sort of table you want?
Yeah, I mean, it would be fine, something like, because I could sand down the legs and give them a paint.
Because it's not really big enough for the kitchen. Actually, one thing you could do, which is a really good solution to getting the optimum size table in a kitchen, is to buy a table like this, work out the perfect size for a table, cut it out of a piece of MDF, and then put a cloth over it, and then you end up with the perfect size.
Okay, so we'll start off with lot number 1.
Buying at auction can be a great way of getting cheap furniture and fittings to dress your house, but you do have to be careful. Do your homework, arrive early, and scout out the lot to make sure there's something worth staying for. Just because it's cheap doesn't mean it's a good buy. You want your property to stand out for the right reasons. Set your limit and don't be tempted to bid more. And do remember that to actually buy something, you need to bid for it first.
£14. That's all this time. It's gonna go. Yes, it's gone. Hooray! Are you ready for it now? 229 is a very large Pooh Bear.
It's now week 13 of what was supposed to be an 8-week project, and none of it has come easily. The kitchen has finally arrived, and after 5 more days waiting, Kim's only just discovered that she's had the gas pipes put in the wrong place.
Why can't we just leave the units without then?
That corner piece, got to come to the edge of there, so your door closes against it.
Oh, I see.
So you've got to get that gas pipe moved to there, to the centre, before we can fit these units.
Will it be done by Wednesday?
Yeah.
Thursday?
Well, if you get the gas pipe done.
I need to call the plumber. It's just a quick call because we have got a problem with this gas pipe in the kitchen. I just wondered whether you can give me a call back and I can get you to move it.
To make matters worse, the wall units were meant to be fixed to plywood behind the plaster. That's if Kim can remember where she put it.
So I'm hoping you've got the ply in the right place.
So am I.
Yeah. Otherwise, you're going to have to cut the plasterboard out to get ply in.
You are joking, aren't you?
No, I'm not. Because I've got nothing to fix the units to.
Well...
Yeah?
Okay, hang on. Let me just think about this.
Can you remember the height you put the ply?
Yes, I can, but I know that it's not going to be in the right place.
No.
I know it's not going to be.
No, it's not. It plies down there.
Oh, at least we'll know how many tiles we have.
Yeah, you're not high enough.
Well, how about that one? Is that all right?
They're low, aren't they?
They're fine.
Yes, sir.
Hello? Oh, hi, Chris, how are you? I just want to see whether you can work on Monday. Wednesday? Thursday?
To get things moving, Kim and Russell decide to move the cupboards instead.
Just go to the end there.
Right. Well, that'll be right then.
No, but you're still not getting it, see, because your hob is central, yeah?
Yeah.
So your corner of your hobs is still going to catch this. If someone leaves a flame alight, take the pan off and walk away and then leave the gas on, the corner of that unit is going to get burnt. Even though, because it's not... They're going to get burnt, aren't they?
I don't care if I get burnt. Fingers crossed, it should all be ready to go on the market at the end of next week. It's about a week away. but so all I've got to do now is the kitchen's being fitted at the moment. Walls painted, woodwork glossed, flooring down. That'll be it. Oh, and garden done. But in a week, throw enough people at it, it should be all right.
She needs to get a bit of organising in next week or she's not going to do it.
But with the first viewings looming, will this ever get done?
It's probably been the hardest week, actually. It's actually been quite stressful. And we've had some really late nights.
Kim Moate is weeks off schedule, thousands of pounds off budget, and her first viewings are in less than a week. But whatever Kim lacks in experience, she makes up for in sheer drive and determination. And true to her word, she calls in help to get the property finished.
It's probably been the hardest week, actually, this sort of last one, because of, having to sort of pull everything together and get all the painting done and everything has actually been quite stressful. And we've had some really late nights, but I've had quite a few guys helping me, which has been brilliant.
After 14 weeks, very, very hard work, the builders are out, the carpet's going down, and the property is ready to show. Just about.
Say, I'm so impressed that you've got this all finished. It looks fantastic. The only thing I would say is your woodwork preparation is not brilliant.
No, that's a nice way of putting it.
When you decorate, you should spend 80% of the time preparing and 20% of the time painting. And I don't think you've done that.
We probably should have spent more time sanding, like you say.
So you have
If I'm
spent some time
completely
sanding.
honest, we didn't really sand, we rubbed down. That's a better way of putting it.
What with a duster?
Kim was so desperate to get the house finished, she let herself down with the detail. But overall, the feel is calm and homely, and I think it will appeal to all her markets. At the back, the old kitchen in the lean-to's gone and been replaced with a patio. But again, I think this lacks any sort of real finish. The new kitchen is simple, modern, with clean lines. And although Kim did get it finished on time, she had to make compromises over the design, which I think are a bit of a shame.
It's much more pleasing to the eye to have as much symmetry as possible in a house.
Right.
The oven here would have been better really to have shifted slightly to the left.
And me in the middle.
And then you have even units either side.
Yeah.
Even units either side above, and then the corner unit, which it just is nicer to see.
Sure.
Getting the most out of any property involves meticulous planning and organisation. Because Kim struggled to keep on top of everything going wrong, some things just went out the window. But it has been a very tough development, and she's transformed the place from a tired, unmodernised house into a modern 3-bedroomed home.
With a development, you always want to try and fit a double bed into a bedroom if it'll fit, because it's a much easier leap to go from double bedroom to single bedroom if you only want a single bedroom than it is from single bedroom to double bedroom. Mm-hmm. And here there's plenty of room for a double bed.
Yeah, you're right.
In order to maximise her profits, Kim had to keep 3 bedrooms and move the bathroom upstairs. In the end, she did it by splitting the master bedroom at the front, which was a good compromise.
This is such a successful division of these rooms because actually it's a really good sized bathroom. It doesn't feel like you've shoehorned it in.
No, it doesn't actually.
And really, you'd never know it wasn't original. This is really, really brilliant. Well done. It's great. It's brilliant.
Considering how little experience Kim had and how many things have gone wrong, I think it's a tribute to her that she's got this finished at all. But it took 14 weeks instead of 8, and it hasn't been cheap. Kim made a saving on her kitchen by spending £1,050, but £550 for the bathroom has risen to £640. £130 for the garden is now £455. Kim only had £150 for the rewiring, which cost £1,000, and decorating soared to almost £2,000. Kim hadn't budgeted for a plumber, so £700 for the fittings ended up costing just over £2,000. The plastering pushed the building costs from just over £6,000 to £9,575. Kim had nothing in her budget for her B&B, which cost her just over £1,300. Taking Kim's total spend from £11,500 to £18,000 plus fees. If she sells for £52,000, after fees of approximately £2,100, it will mean she will walk away with about £4,400 profit before tax. But Kim's hoping for more.
Now that the house is finished, I think that it's worth $59,000. I think it should go for that. I actually need $59,000 to justify this in my own mind. With that, I think I'll walk out with about 10 grand of profit after all of the fees and what I've spent on the project.
But what will the estate agents make of Kim's 3.5 months of hard work?
The only thing I would have changed would probably have had the radiator situated on the wall underneath the window there. Then I could have utilised this space then for an appliance.
Ceiling could have been finished a little better.
I don't believe there's been much thought put into the design of the room.
This room would be very useful for the elderly and the young family because you've got the toilet, you've You've got the sink unit and you've got the washing machine point.
The obvious thing that springs to mind is getting past the washing machine if you're in a rush to root the loo.
It's good to see that she's kept 3 bedrooms, yet gained a first floor bathroom.
Yeah, I think this is absolutely superb.
The market is very good, and hopefully you would gain a sale very quickly if things were finished off.
The finishing touches have let the vendor down at the last hurdle. Perhaps the paint jobs could have been a little bit better.
But in general, I think Kim has made a success of the conversion of this property.
But will they think it's worth the £59,000 she wants?
My valuation for this property is £57,000.
I think we've successfully marketed this at 61,000.
I would put this property on the market for £61,950.
I think this is great news, but is it enough for Kim?
Now, we've had 3 estate agents round and they valued it at 57,000, 61 and £61,950. Are you pleased with that?
I am, yeah. I am pleased with that. I kind of need that kind of figure, I'll be honest. Kind of justify why I've spent all these months down here.
If Kim can get this, it will certainly make her a decent profit even after her overspending. But most of that money is down to the rising market in South Wales and not the 14 weeks of very hard work living 170 miles from home. Now all she has to do is sell it.
It's really nice, modern and bright, spotlight. This would have been better with just 1 big bedroom rather than split into bathroom, bedroom. But that's the thing today, isn't it? Ensuite, so it's like an ensuite, really.
What's that?
That's a little stain, probably from a leak.
I really like the kitchen. It's got plenty of cupboard space and a nice new hob, lovely floor. It's light and airy and straight out through the back double glazed doors. Excellent.
It needs a bit updating, a little bit. But other than that, I think I'm going to put in an offer.
The house has been on the market for about sort of half a day at the most, and I've actually already had an offer. I've accepted it. It's at the asking price of $62,000, and I'm over the moon. It's really made it all worthwhile.
Of guts and naivety that enabled Kim to buy a development in such a state, such a long way from home. It could have easily been a disaster because the reality is she bought the wrong house for too much money, and it was a massive job for her to take on. But hard work and tenacity has turned this project around, and along the way she's learnt valuable lessons about budgeting and about planning that she can take on to her next development.